Hello and welcome back to the Deep End. You are listening to a very special edition of the Deep Dive.
It's great to be back.
Today we are continuing our journey into what I honestly think is the most important construction project in the world.
Hmm.
We are talking about the Building Humans series.
It's been such a fantastic series to be a part of.
And I have to say, the response from you, our listeners, has been just incredible so far.
It really has. It's wonderful. And
Yeah.
you're right. Construction project is the perfect phrase.
You think so?
I do. We often think of children as just growing, like weeds or flowers that you just water and
Well,
watch.
passively.
But they're actively building themselves every single second. It's an architectural feat of epic proportions.
It's the ultimate DIY project, but the stakes are, the future of humanity.
Precisely. No pressure.
Right, no pressure at all. Now, today we're going to look at the fuel for that construction, the energy source.
Secret engine.
The secret engine, exactly. But before we get there, we have to acknowledge the architects who made this specific deep dive possible.
Absolutely.
This episode is brought to you through a collaboration with the Al-Mahaba Foundation.
A wonderful organization.
And their motto, which honestly it acts as a kind of North Star for this entire discussion we're about to have, is love for all and service to all.
A beautiful sentiment, and it's one that aligns so perfectly with the educational philosophy we're exploring today.
It really does.
It really sets the spiritual tone for the material.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're also supported by the Dar el-Khalima Publishing House.
Mm-hmm.
These are the folks preserving the source texts that allow us to have these conversations. They're keeping the library open, so to speak.
Which is such vital work.
It is. And speaking of source texts, we are opening a heavy hitter today. We're looking at The Secret of Childhood by Maria Montessori.
A seminal work. A true classic. If you have any interest in human development, this is one of the pillars.
It really is. But we aren't doing the whole book.
We couldn't possibly.
No, that would take a week. And honestly, our brains might melt.
Mine would, for sure.
So we are zooming in, laser focusing on one specific chapter with the title that just, it stopped me in my tracks.
Oh, I know the one.
The Intelligence of Love.
It's a provocative title, isn't it? It demands that you pause and think.
It really does. Because usually when we talk about love, we're in the realm of poetry or romance or just warm, fuzzy feelings.
Right. It's emotional.
Here we put love in the heart box, and then over here in the brain box we put intelligence, math, logic,
Well,
reason.
Two separate categories.
Exactly. But Montessori takes these two distinct concepts and just smashes them together.
Yeah.
So I have to ask the central question right off the bat to set the stage.
Yeah.
Can love actually be intelligent? I mean, is it biological or is it just emotional?
That is the question that changes everything, isn't it?
It feels like it.
If you follow the traditional view, love is a sentiment. It's a reaction. It's, I like you, or you make me feel good. But if you look at it through the lens of this text and through the lens of Montessori's scientific observation, the answer is a resounding yes. Love is intelligent.
Wow.
In fact, Montessori argues that for the child, love is not a sentiment at all. It is a survival mechanism. It is the secret engine of the child's brain.
The secret engine. I love that image. It sounds like something under the hood of a high-performance vehicle.
That's exactly what it is. It is the cognitive fuel that drives development. Without this specific form of energy, the impossible feats of childhood,
Like learning to walk.
learning to walk, talk, think, socialize, all of it would simply not happen. The engine wouldn't turn over.
That is a massive claim.
Yeah.
And our mission today is to unpack that.
Yeah.
We want to help you, the listener, move from just feeling love, which is easy, biological, natural, to practicing the intelligence of love, which sounds like a whole different ballgame.
It is. It is a practice. It requires a shift from passive emotion to active observation. It requires real intention.
So let's get into it. Section 1, the engine of the mind. When I was reading the source material in your notes, I kept coming back to this idea of energy.
Yes.
And not metaphorical good vibes energy, but actual, caloric cognitive energy.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, let's put this in context. Think about the sheer magnitude of the workload a child faces in the first few years of life.
Okay.
Imagine an adult, let's say you move to a new country where you don't speak the language.
Okay. I'm stressed already, just thinking about it.
Right. You have to learn the vocabulary, the grammar, the social customs. It is hard. It is absolutely exhausting.
You'd come home with a headache every single day.
Every single day, you'd be mentally drained.
It's brutal. I'd probably just want to watch English TV and sleep. I wouldn't want to do anything.
Now imagine you arrive on a new planet.
Okay, upping the stakes.
You don't know how to control your limbs.
Hmm.
You don't know how to focus your eyes. You don't understand gravity. You drop things and they fall, and that's news to you. You don't know the language. You don't know the social rules. You have to build your entire intellect, your entire motor system from absolute zero.
If I had to do all that, I think I'd just curl up in a ball and refuse to participate. It sounds completely impossible.
Exactly. An adult would collapse under that cognitive load. It's too much.
We couldn't handle it.
We couldn't. But the child attacks this work with joy. They wake up at 6 a.m. ready to go.
They really do.
They run towards the world. They fall down. They get up. They babble until they find words. What powers that resilience?
It can't just be youth.
It's not. Montessori argues that this specific energy, this tireless, joyous drive to absorb the environment, is the intelligence of love.
So love is the battery.
Love is the battery, the engine, and the steering wheel. It's everything. It is a form of spiritual and intellectual energy that allows the child to absorb the world without fatigue.
Without fatigue. That's the key.
Yes. It acts almost like an anesthetic to the exhaustion of learning.
There was a specific example in the source text that illustrated this perfectly for me. The concept of the impossible focus.
Yes. This is the litmus test for the intelligence of love. It's where you can actually see the engine running in real time.
Walk us through this, because I think every parent has seen this, but maybe we haven't realized what we were looking at.
Oh, every parent has seen this, but we often misunderstand it completely. You will see a toddler staring at something incredibly mundane.
Like a bug.
A bug, a crack in the pavement, a dust mote floating in a sunbeam.
Or playing with a box. I see this all the time. Opening it, closing it, opening it, closing it. Over and over.
And not just for a minute or two. They might do it for 20 minutes. They might repeat an action 50 times.
50 times. Now, be honest. As an adult standing there watching this, what is going through your head?
You are bored. You are so, so bored. You're looking at your watch. You're thinking, okay, the box is open. I get it. Can we move on?
We have things to do.
You have things to do. The milk isn't going to buy itself.
Right. We have to get to the grocery store. We have a schedule to keep.
Because you are viewing the action through adult eyes. To the adult, the purpose of opening a box is to get what's inside.
It's a means to an end.
It's utilitarian.
Yeah.
Once the box is open, the task is complete. Efficiency is the goal.
We are results-oriented. Absolutely.
But for the child, the box is not the point. The result is not the point. The action is the point.
The process.
Yes, the process. The child is not trying to open the box. The child is trying to build the brain.
Oh, okay.
They are coordinating the hand and the eye. They are learning about hinges. They are learning about cause and effect. If I pull this, that moves.
So when they do it the 50th time, it's not because they forgot the 49th time.
No, not at all. It is because the intelligence of love creates a loop of interest that compels them to perfect the mechanism.
Okay.
It's like a master musician practicing scales.
That's a great analogy.
You don't play the scale once and say, okay, I know the scale now.
No, you played 1,000 times.
You play it until it is in your bones. You play it until the neural pathways are insulated, myelinated.
It's rehearsal. It's high-level training.
It is self-construction.
Right.
And the love part is that intense connection to the object. If you or I tried to stare at a dust mote for 30 minutes, we would be exhausted.
I could be physically uncomfortable. My mind would walk.
Or we would check our phones. Our brains would reject the boredom. The child is not bored because the intelligence of love lights up that object with profound significance.
Right.
To them, at that moment, that dust mote is the most interesting thing in the entire universe.
So this brings up a crucial distinction then. It's not that the child likes the dust mote in the way I like ice cream or a good movie.
No, that's a perfect way to put it. Liking is a sentiment. It's a preference.
It's superficial.
It is. This is a biological imperative. It's a spiritual necessity. The child needs that dust mote to understand the physical world. The intelligence of love says, you must understand this particle to understand reality.
But it's calculated.
It is absolutely calculated. It isn't whimsical at all. We think children are just playing randomly. But the intelligence of love is a very strict guide.
Boy, director.
A director, a coach. It says, look at this, now look at this, now master this movement. It directs the child's development logically.
So here's the tragedy. And I think I'm guilty of this, and probably most of our listeners are too. When we interrupt that, when we say, stop playing with that, let's go, or here, let me do it for you, you're being too slow, what are we actually doing to them?
We are cutting the fuel line.
Wow.
We are severing the connection between the mind and the world.
We are breaking the circuit.
And just think about how that feels. If you were in the middle of a complex thought or writing an important email or solving a difficult puzzle and someone just snatched it away from you,
I'd be furious. I'd probably yell. I'd feel so disrespected.
you would be frustrated. You would feel a sense of violation.
And that leads us to what we call a tantrum.
Exactly. So often what we label as bad behavior is actually the frustration of the intelligence of love being blocked. It's the engine revving with nowhere to go.
Okay, we have to get deeper into that later.
We will. But the key takeaway for this first part is just to recognize that energy. That focus isn't accidental. It's the engine.
It really reframes the whole process of observation. Instead of seeing a child wasting time, you're seeing a scientist in a lab.
A scientist who is deeply in love with their experiment. And our job is to respect that scientist.
Okay, let's unpack this even further. Because if their love is this calculated engine of knowledge, how does it compare to our love as adults?
Right.
This brings us to section 2, the dichotomy of love.
And this is where the source material holds up a mirror to us, the parents. And honestly, the reflection isn't always flattering.
No, it's not.
It forces us to confront our own ego.
It really does. Montessori draws such a sharp line between adult love and child love. And the description of adult love, well, it stings a little.
It is meant to. It is meant to wake us up from our assumptions.
She characterizes adult love as being rooted in possession or attachment.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that? Because most parents would say, I don't want to possess my child, I just love them. I want what's best for them.
Of course. And it is subtle. We don't do it consciously. But let's just look at the language we use. My son, my daughter, my baby.
Well, they are ours, though. I mean, that's a biological fact.
Biologically, yes, they came from us. But the intelligence of love asks us to examine the psychology of that ownership. Do we love them for who they are, as independent spirits, or do we love them as extensions of ourselves?
Oof, that is the hard question, isn't it?
It is. Do we love them when they make us look good in public, when they get good grades, when they are polite in front of the neighbors?
And do we get embarrassed when they act out because it reflects poorly on us? What will people think of me as a parent?
Precisely. That is the ego. That is the element of possession. You belong to me, therefore you must represent me. You must fit into the mold I have created.
Right.
This type of love, while natural to some extent, is fundamentally different from the love the child experiences. It's conditional, it's heavy, it carries the weight of expectation.
So how does child love contrast with that? What's on the other side of the coin?
The text defines the child's love as unity. It is completely, 100% devoid of possession.
Unity. That sounds almost mystical.
It is deeply spiritual. When a child loves something, whether it's a parent, a rock, or a dog, they do not want to own it.
They don't want to control it.
No. They don't want to put it in a bank vault or control its behavior. They want to be with it. They want to absorb it into their very being.
So they want to merge with it.
Yes. It's a love that seeks knowledge. The
Yeah.
fundamental drive is, I love this, therefore I must understand it. It's a gateway to the world. They
Okay.
love the parent not because they own the parent, but because the parent is their primary connection to life itself.
There's a beautiful metaphor in the book that illustrates this difference so perfectly. The metaphor of the flower.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the most powerful images in the whole chapter.
It is a classic Montessori visualization. Let's walk through it. Imagine an adult and a child walking through a meadow.
Okay, I'm picturing it. A nice sunny day.
And they both spot a beautiful, vibrant wildflower.
Okay.
Now, what is the instinct of the adult who loves flowers?
To pick it.
Yeah.
To take it. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm taking it home. I want it on my table.
To possess it. To own the beauty. And in the act of possession, in picking the flower, what happens to the flower?
It dies. It's immediately cut off from its roots, its life source.
It dies. It withers. The act of adult love, which is driven by the desire to hold and own, destroys the very thing it claims to love.
Wow.
We consume the beauty, we appropriate it for our own pleasure, and in doing so, we end its life.
That is dark. But
Oh.
it's so accurate, we kill it to keep it.
Now look at the child. What does the child do?
Well, if they're operating on this intelligence of love, they usually just,
Oh.
they stop. They squat down.
Yes. They get on the flower's level, they change their entire perspective to meet it where it is.
They stare at it. They might touch a petal very gently. They might smell it. They linger.
They might watch the ants crawling on the stem.
Yes. For ages. And then what?
And then usually they stand up and walk away. They leave the flower in the soil.
The flower stays alive.
Their love preserves the object. They absorb the beauty into their mind. They keep the memory, the understanding of the flower, but they leave the reality intact.
They don't need to own it to love it.
They are satisfied with the connection, the knowledge, the unity.
That is such a profound difference. The adult consumes, the child contemplates.
And if we take that metaphor and apply it to parenting, are we picking our children?
Wow. That hits hard. Are we trying to uproot them?
Are we trying to uproot them from their natural developmental soil and stick them in a vase that looks good in our living room?
Be a doctor, be polite, don't be so loud.
Fit into my life. Be the child I imagined I would have.
Or are we willing to squat down in the dirt with them and just watch them bloom exactly where they are, even if they're a different kind of flower than we expected?
That is the challenge. That is the practice. To love without possession, to love with the intelligence of a child, to love in a way that allows the other person to remain free.
It completely challenges the hierarchy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We assume we're the experts on love.
Of course.
We think, I am the adult, I know how to love, I have to teach this child how to love. But maybe we're the ones who are forgotten.
And the source material just flips that table over completely. It suggests we are the ones who need the lesson.
Which is the perfect segue to section 3. The child is the renewer.
The renewer. I love that term. It elevates the child from a mere student to a kind of spiritual master.
Yeah, the text argues that the child isn't just learning from us. They are actively healing us.
They are. And let's be honest, we need healing. Let's talk about the crust of hardness.
The crust of hardness.
I
I feel like I might have a few layers of that.
think we all do.
Yeah, most adults do, right?
It's unavoidable. Think about what it takes to survive in the adult world.
Stress, bills,
Right.
traffic, deadlines, politics.
Betrayal, disappointment,
Huh?
the constant need to be efficient, the need to hide your true emotions at work because professionalism demands it. Over time, these things calcify. We build a shell to protect our soft interior. We become cynical. We get tired, not just physically, but existentially.
Spiritual sclerosis, like
Yeah.
a hardening of the soul's arteries.
That's a great way to describe it. We lose our sensitivity. We stop seeing the magic in the world because we are too busy managing the logistics.
We become hard, we become numb.
We do. And who breaks that shell?
Well, according to this, only one being has the frequency to shatter that glass. The child.
Only the child.
The source gives some really poignant examples of this, and I think these are scenes that we will all recognize in our own lives.
It does. Let's start with the morning awakening.
Okay, the scenario. You are deep asleep.
Yeah.
You are exhausted.
Mm.
You are up late working or maybe worrying about something.
Right.
And suddenly, a small hand is poking your face. Wake up! Wake up!
Logically, your reaction should be anger, right? You are sleep deprived. Your body needs rest. An adult waking you up like that would get yelled at.
Oh, 100%. I am not a morning person. You would be very grumpy with me.
But what happens when you open your eyes and see that beaming, radiant face? That face that is just so happy you exist?
You can't help it.
That face that has zero baggage?
You smile.
Mm.
It's involuntary. The grumpiness just dissolves.
The crust cracks. For a moment, the tiredness vanishes. The cynicism vanishes. You are pulled into their joy. Their energy is so pure, it overrides your fatigue.
It's like a shot of pure life force.
It is. Or think about the example of the strict father,
Okay.
the businessman, the serious man. He spends his whole day giving orders, being ruthless, maintaining a facade of absolute control.
He's terrifying to his employees. He never shows weakness.
He walks through the front door. He's still wearing the armor of his day.
Mhm.
And his toddler runs at his knees, screaming, "Daddy!"
And what happens?
Suddenly, the CEO is on the floor making zoo animal noises. He is crawling. He's a horse.
He becomes the gentle one. The mask falls off completely. The human being underneath is revealed.
The child has given him permission to be soft again, to be playful.
It's almost like an exorcism of the adult ego.
It is a renewal. The child reconnects us to our factory settings.
That's a good way to put it.
They remind us what it means to trust, to love without an agenda, to play, to be curious.
And the text suggests this isn't just some happy accident. This is biological. This is the intelligence of love at work.
It is the intelligence of love working as a survival strategy. Think about it.
How so?
The child is vulnerable. They cannot hunt. They cannot fight. They cannot feed themselves. They are entirely dependent on these large, tired, often grumpy giants.
So nature gave them a superpower.
Nature gave them the power to melt the giant's heart, to ensure they are cared for. The child needs the adult to be soft, so the child has the capacity to soften the adult. It protects them.
So it's symbiotic. We feed them, they renew us.
We protect their bodies, they save our souls, they keep us from becoming statues.
That really changes the narrative around the burden of parenting, doesn't it?
Completely.
We often talk about the sacrifice. I gave up so much for my kids. I gave up my sleep, my money, my free time.
But what did you get back in the trade?
You got to be human again.
You got to feel things you had walled off years ago.
That's a beautiful perspective. It makes the sleepless nights feel like a fair trade.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. But I want to pivot to the practical side. Because even with all this spiritual renewal, there are days where the giant is just tired and the renewer is screaming their head off in the grocery store aisle.
Yes, the reality of the tantrum. The moment where all this beautiful philosophy meets the hard, sticky pavement.
Exactly. So section 4, practical application. How do we take this high-level, beautiful philosophy and apply it when the rubber meets the road? Specifically, how do we deal with naughtiness?
The very first step is a definition change. We need to delete the word naughty from our vocabulary and replace it with blocked.
Blocked. That sounds like plumbing.
It is, in a way. It's energy plumbing. The text argues that what we call naughtiness disorderly movements, shouting, throwing things, aggression, is almost always a symptom of starved love.
Starved love. That sounds intense.
Mm-hmm.
I think most parents feel like they're showering their kids with love.
Of course.
We buy them toys, we hug them, we tell them we love them constantly.
But remember the distinction we made at the beginning. Sentiment versus intelligence. Yeah. You might be hugging them, which is the sentiment.
Right.
But are you feeding the engine, the intelligence?
Are you letting them focus? Are you giving them work that matters?
Exactly. The child has this massive cognitive energy, this engine revving up inside them. It wants to work. It wants to organize. It wants to understand.
Okay.
If you put that child in a chaotic environment, or if you constantly say, no, don't touch that, or if you give them mindless toys that offer no intellectual resistance,
the engine has nowhere to go. It just spins its wheels and overheats.
The energy turns sour. It explodes. The child isn't being malicious. The child is desperate. They are screaming with their whole body. My development is blocked. Help me find something to do.
So the tantrum is a cry for employment.
Chuckles. In a way, yes. It is a cry for meaningful activity. Give me a job. Give me a purpose.
We talked in the background research about the difference between a judge and a detective. I really like that framework.
Yes. The adult love. The possessive, ego-driven love tends to be a judge.
What does that sound like?
You are being bad. You are embarrassing me. Stop it now. You are guilty.
And the intelligence of love is a detective.
The detective doesn't judge. The detective asks questions. Why is this happening? What is the engine looking for? Is he tired? Is he bored? Is the environment too loud? Is he trying to do something that I'm just not seeing?
So the solution is service. And this ties back so perfectly to the Al-Mahaba Foundation. Service to all.
It does.
But we have to be really careful with that word, right? Mm-hmm. Because service doesn't mean being a servant.
That is a crucial distinction. Service is not slavery. It does not mean you tie their shoes for them until they are 18.
Right.
It doesn't mean you fetch them water when they can walk to the tap themselves.
That's the help that harms.
Right. If you do everything for the child, you are stealing their victories. You are stealing their chance to build their own brain. You are silently telling them they are incompetent.
So what is true service in this context?
True service is serving the spirit of the child. It means preparing the environment so that they can function independently. It means removing the obstacles that block them.
Give us some concrete examples. We talked about the real versus the fake in the outline.
Okay. Let's go back to the broom example. It's a simple but perfect one.
The broom.
A child sees you sweeping the floor. The intelligence of love kicks in and says, I want to be in unity with that. I want to do what the adult does. I want to affect the world. I want to be a contributing member of this tribe.
Right, they want to help.
So you go to the toy store and you buy them a toy broom. It's bright pink. It's got plastic bristles. Maybe it makes a squeaking noise or lights up.
It's a fun broom?
It's a fun broom that doesn't sweep dust. It just pushes it around. It's completely useless as a tool.
And what message does that send to the child?
It sends a devastating message. It says, you are fake. Your work doesn't matter. You are just pretending. You are not capable of real participation in our family life.
And the child knows. They can tell.
They know instantly. They try to use it. It fails, and they get bored. They throw the broom. They start running around. They get naughty.
The engine gets blocked again.
Exactly. Now, contrast that with service.
What does service look like?
Service is finding a small, real broom wood handle, corn bristles, one that actually works.
Yeah.
You show them how to hold it, you show them the pile of dust, you treat them like a capable apprentice.
You take their contributions seriously.
Then when they sweep that little pile of dust into the pan,
The look on their face is just,
it's pure ecstasy. It is the joy of competence. I am real. I can change my environment. I am helpful. That is the intelligence of love finding its target.
and suddenly the naughtiness evaporates.
Instantly, because the energy is flowing into constructive work. We call this internal order. The chaos inside the child settles down because the outside world is being mastered.
So the goal isn't to control the child. The goal is to connect the child to the world.
We are the bridge. We are the gatekeepers. Our service is to open the gate and say, here is the world. It is beautiful. Here are the tools to understand it. Go.
That is. It's just a completely different paradigm. It moves parenting from management to facilitation.
From being a corrections officer to being a tour guide.
Chuckles, I like that much better. I'd much rather be a tour guide.
Yeah.
And on your left, you will see the dust pile that needs your attention.
It's a lot more fun for everyone, and it builds a relationship of deep trust and respect.
But it requires patience. It requires us to slow down.
It requires stopping. We are always rushing. The intelligence of love operates on child time, which is much, much slower than adult time.
We have to wait for them to tie the shoe, don't we?
Even if it takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because in those 10 minutes, they are building the neural pathways for a lifetime of coordination and independence.
Right.
If you swoop in and do it in 10 seconds, you save 10 minutes of your time, but you cost them a developmental milestone.
That's the cost-benefit analysis we need to be doing in those moments.
Is my 10 minutes worth more than their development?
When you put it that way, the answer is so obvious.
Ideally. But in the heat of the moment, it's hard. That's why we call it a practice. You won't get it right every single time, and that's okay.
I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the idea of internal order. Because I think as parents, we crave peace. We want a peaceful home.
Desperately.
And we think we get peace by imposing strict rules.
External order. Be quiet. Sit still.
Sit down, be quiet, don't touch. But Montessori says real peace comes from the inside.
Yes. A child who has found their work, who is deeply engaged by the intelligence of love, is naturally peaceful. They are calm. They are focused. You don't need to yell at a child who is fascinated by a puzzle or carefully washing a table.
So if your house is chaotic, the solution isn't louder rules.
No.
It might be better activities, a better environment.
A better environment. Things worthy of their love. That's the phrase from the text.
Things worthy of their love. I love that.
Is a flashing iPad screen truly worthy of that deep spiritual love? Maybe not. It stimulates, but does it satisfy the need to build?
Probably not.
Is a garden? Yes. Is a musical instrument? Yes. Is a bowl of bread dough? Absolutely. Give them things that are rich enough to absorb that massive energy.
This really connects everything we've discussed, the biology of the engine, the philosophy of unity, and the practical application of service. It all ties together.
It is a holistic system. You can't separate the philosophy from the practice. You can't have the real broom without the deep respect.
I want to take a moment to summarize because we have covered a lot of ground here.
They have.
We started with the definition. Love isn't just a feeling, it's an engine.
The intelligence of love. The cognitive fuel for development.
Then we looked at the mirror. Adult love tends to be possessive. This is mine. Child love is about unity. I want to know this.
The adult picks the flower. The child contemplates it.
Then we flip the hierarchy. The child is the renewer.
They melt our crust of hardness. They save us from our own cynicism.
And finally, service. We stop being judges and start being detectives. We provide an environment where that powerful engine can run smoothly.
And in doing so, we eliminate so-called naughtiness by solving its root cause, blocked energy.
It's powerful stuff. And it's not just about raising better kids. It's about becoming better humans ourselves.
Building humans. It works both ways. We build them and they rebuild us.
So here is the call to action for our listeners. We want you to try this. We want you to take off the adult glasses for just one day or even just 1 hour.
Just observe. Don't intervene immediately. Watch what they are focusing on. Ask yourself, what is the engine doing right now? What is it trying to build?
And if you catch yourself trying to possess the moment, trying to make them perform or stop or change for your convenience, just pause.
Take a breath. Remember the flower. Let them be.
If you want to go deeper, and we really have only scratched the surface of this text, you need to go to the source.
Absolutely. We are just the trailer. The movie is the book itself.
You can find the resources at the Dar el Kalima Library at darelkalima.com. The book is The Secret of Childhood by Maria Montessori.
It is written with such beautiful clarity. It's not dense academic jargon. It is very accessible, but incredibly deep.
I found that too.
Reading it feels like putting on night vision goggles.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you see things happening in your own living room that were completely invisible to you before.
Support the source, build the human. That's the mission.
And remember, be kind to yourself in this process. You are breaking decades of conditioning. You have your own crust of hardness to work through.
That's true.
Yeah.
The child forgives us instantly. We should try to forgive ourselves.
Every morning is a renewal. That's what the child teaches us.
Before we go, I want to leave the listeners with a final thought circling back to that crust of hardness. We talked about how the child breaks it. But there's a risk, isn't there, if we don't let them break it?
If we resist, if we stay hard.
Yeah. If we win the battle of wills, if we force them to comply, if we crush that engine and get them to just be quiet and do what they're told, what happens then?
Then we create adults who have broken engines. We create adults who don't know how to focus, who don't know how to love without possession, who are cynical before their time. We perpetuate the hardness.
So the stakes they're really high.
The stakes are the future of humanity. It sounds dramatic, but it is literally true. The child is the father of the man. If we want a world with more love and more intelligence, we have to protect the intelligence of love in the child.
That is a sobering but also a very inspiring place to leave it. We have the power to shape the future by simply respecting the present moment of the child.
Well said.
A massive thank you to our partners, the Al Mahaba Foundation and Dar el Kalima Publishing House.
Their support allows us to bring these deep dives to you.
And thank you to you, the listener, for your time and for your willingness to look at the world and maybe yourself a little differently.
It is a brave thing to question your own love.
It is, but it's the only way to grow. We will see you on the next deep dive. But until then, remember our required motto, the guiding principle of everything we've discussed today.
Yes.
Love for all, service for everyone.
Love for all, service for everyone.
Take care, everyone.